Hello, Gubbies. For my project, I researched NASCAR. More specifically, the history of NASCAR. How did it start? Why did it start? And what happened in its life so far? Now, when I started this research project, I just thought a bunch of rednecks came together and then eventually formed NASCAR. But it was a lot more interesting than that. Do you like alcohol? Well, I hope not, because you all are underage and it is illegal. But in the 1920s, the government made our precious booze illegal, and this was called Prohibition. Now, you and myself, when I was researching this, may ask yourself, what is this Prohibition got to do with my NASCAR?
Come on! Put your foot in it! Come on!
Well, actually, what I've discovered is that in response to this law banning booze, people would transport illegal alcohol around to get people to buy it. This was called bootlegging. So, what did they do when they started getting pulled over by cops and sent to jail? Well, they made their cars faster, of course, and more agile than the cops. But to avoid attention, they kept their cars stock on the outside. Now, stock pretty much just meaning how it looks from the factory, what came inside. Now, according to the Mob Museum and all their Prohibition-related stuff, modifications to these cars included removing the seats, removing the floorboards, new suspension, radiator covers, and all other sorts of goodies. As a result of this, a pastime started for some of them. They started racing, and as Prohibition went away, more and more of them started racing, but this was never really consistent or organized. Now, according to NASCAR's official website, France Sr. said, well, I would like to have one big racing association. So he got all the heads of the existing races and held a meeting at Daytona Beach, where the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing was born. And on February 15, 1948, also cited from NASCAR's official page, was when they held their first race at Daytona Beach. The winner of this race was the Red Baron driving his Ford Coupe. As time went on, and the cars they were using started to change, and new rules were made, they were now separated by generations. We went from the Ford Coupe, to the Hudson Hornet, to the crazy Dodge Daytona. Now, when I was researching this topic, I was curious to research at least one famous person from the sport. The first one I stumbled upon was Dale Earnhardt, and he was known as the Intimidator for his aggressive racing style that would get him into trouble because he would get other racers to crash and stuff like that. In his lifetime, he won 76 Winston Cup races, so he was a pretty accomplished guy, and yes, he did have a very nice mustache, like the guy from Cars. Sadly though, on February 18, 2001, he crashed on the final lap of the 43rd Daytona 500. While I was researching this, I did not expect NASCAR to have such a rich and wild history. I was pleasantly surprised, and I hope you were too.